The closet. What you hide eventually shapes you. My name is M, and there are versions of human beings the world never sees. Not because they do not exist, because they were buried, locked away, hidden inside emotional closets built from shame, fear, trauma, survival, rejection, humiliation, abandonment, rage, grief, and silence. That is where monsters are created. Not in darkness alone, but in isolation. Because unprocessed pain does not disappear. It adapts. It waits. It studies you quietly while you pretend to function normally. And eventually, the parts of yourself you refuse to confront begin controlling your life from behind the walls you built to contain them. That is the closet. The internal prison human beings create when survival becomes more important than honesty. Some people hide anger there. Some hide grief. Some hide weakness. Some hide fear. Some hide addiction. Some hide shame. Some hide the terrified child still trapped inside adult bodies, pretending to have everything under control. And eventually, the closet becomes crowded. So crowded that people begin suffocating psychologically while still smiling publicly. That is the terrifying part about emotional suppression. The mind may compartmentalize pain. The nervous system does not. The body remembers. The behavior remembers. The relationships remember. The emotional reactions remember. And eventually, the hidden version of you begins leaking into every environment you touch. Through rage, through manipulation, through emotional shutdown, through addiction, through avoidance, through hyper-control, through self-destruction. Because human beings do not bury pain alive forever. Eventually, it claws its way back to the surface. And when it does, most people call it a breakdown. But sometimes, it is exposure. The truth finally escaping containment. That is why some people fear silence, because silence opens the closet door, and suddenly every unresolved memory begins breathing again. Every suppressed emotion begins moving again. Every version of yourself you abandoned during survival begins asking, "Are you finally ready to look at me honestly?" That question destroys people. Because confronting pain means confronting reality. Reality about what happened. Reality about what it created. Reality about the damage done to you and the damage you later caused others while trying to survive it. That is where accountability becomes terrifying. Not accountability to the world, accountability to yourself, to the version of you still bleeding underneath the performance. Because eventually, every human being faces a choice. Continue performing stability, or finally walk into the closet voluntarily and confront what has been living there all along. That process is ugly, violent internally, humiliating, painful. Because healing is not spiritual aesthetics and motivational quotes. Healing is war. War against denial. War against illusion. War against the identities built to avoid emotional truth. That is why most people never truly heal. Because healing requires the destruction of emotional architecture survival built to keep them functioning. And survival fights back, aggressively. It tells you, do not look there. Do not feel that. Do not remember. Do not admit weakness. Do not confront the truth. Because truth destabilizes false identity, and false identity hates exposure. But the closet always wins eventually. Always. Because buried pain becomes behavior. Buried shame becomes personality. Buried trauma becomes relationship patterns. Buried grief becomes emotional numbness. Buried fear becomes control. And buried rage eventually becomes destruction. That is why the strongest thing a human being can do is walk into the darkness consciously, open the closet, and finally say, no more hiding. Because monsters are not created by pain alone. They are created by pain left unseen for too long. My name is M, and this is The Closet.